yield to the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I regret coming in late and missing a lot of what has been said, and so I start from, unfortunately, a difficult spot. I don't want to ask people to repeat themselves, but Secretary Perry, you've had a great deal of experience in the public sphere as governor of Texas before being Secretary of Energy. I wonder, what we see the Biden administration engaged in now as an attempt to sort of just the most remarkable blame game, blaming the Putin's invasion of Ukraine for all the price rise problems with the inflation problems that we have, what the American people are suffering. I happened to see a TikTok video on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Twitter yesterday evening, that it was someone who's obviously very left in their orientation, and she was screaming because of the gas prices and what it was costing her to fill her tank to get to her job. But she was screaming about the religious right wing over and over again. And, it does seem to me, I know that there people are of differing levels of knowledge about politics and public affairs and so forth. And certainly economics is no easy feat for many of us. But in order to make the right decisions as Americans, we've got to diagnose our problems correctly, or the source of our problems correctly. And with the administration offering a lot of deflection and blame, I'm not sure will the American people get it, Secretary Perry? Maybe that's the big question. What is it that the American people need to understand in basic terms?
Yeah, I do think the American people not only will get it, they're already getting it. When you see what's happening in my home state along the border with the historic Democrat voter who is Hispanic, who is now overwhelmingly coming to the Republican Party and going to vote for Republicans this November, at that particular point in time, the Biden administration is going to get it. They're going to get it real clearly. But when you start to see news outlets like CNN and even MSNBC to some degree start asking the appropriate questions about the capability, both intellectual and otherwise, of the Biden administration, particularly the president, then you know that the tide is about to turn. It's going to turn in a big way. Our job, I think, is just to continue to tell the truth. One of the reasons that I think that this book that Alex Epstein has got in front of you there, of Fossil Future, is so important is because it tells the truth. And I think as long as we will tell the truth, I think it's Ephesians that says to tell the truth with love, okay? And that's probably a good piece of advice as well. But to tell the truth day in and day out, the American people will be best served by that, and I think we will win the argument. And by doing that, America will be better served, and the world will be better served, because with a strong America and a strong America energy sector, the world will be a better place to live.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And is it Ms. Sagama? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Skama, yes.
Skama. Specifically focusing on energy, Secretary Perry finished on that point. I know that we hear two things of late from the Biden administration in sort of the blame campaign that has been ongoing. The one that sticks in my mind from the White House podium last week was that oil companies should increase their production and that they're not patriotic if they don't, number one. And then I've heard a lot about price gouging. And the thing that strikes me, just as, again, not an expert in economics or in the production of energy or economic efficiency in energy, but is that it seems to me, I came of age in when President Reagan was in office, when we last had the Carter administration levels of inflation that President Reagan and Paul Volcker of the Federal Reserve slayed. I mean, they controlled inflation really for all of my life, and I'm not a spring chicken. Why would anyone believe that the desire to price gouge has suddenly appeared in 2021 after we've had prices under control or fairly level for 30, 40 years?
Time has expired, but you can answer the question. Thank you.
Well, I didn't see anybody feeling bad for us when prices went negative in 2020. That's all I have to say about that. But to your earlier question, the polling is good. The American people are understanding that their energy prices, as Alex was saying, they understand where the blame lies. And polling has been consistently 60% that the American people understand it would be better to increase production here than to decrease production for climate change reasons. 60% are consistently polling that they support more American production of oil and natural gas. So I do think that most people, now your gal on TikTok, she's probably one of that, the 30% or 40% that, yeah, exactly.